Touch one.
Touch all.
Touch all.
Touch one.
One Africa.
One nation.
One nation.
One Africa.
Uhuru. I want to welcome everyone here to Quabbin Hall for the Sunday Rally Community Meeting. For those of you who are online, you can catch us at 4101 West Florissant. We're on the corner of West Florissant and Alice. We'll be here till 5 o'clock. And today's Sunday Rally, we're going to keep with the theme and the focus of this fight back that the Uhuru movement is engaged in. And of course, what the African community is engaged in too. And that is to make City Hall, the City Hall of St. Louis, free up all the money, bring it all to the Northside, and to help to repair the damage that they themselves have committed for centuries, but for decades in the more recent time, and also coupled with the fact that there was a EF3 tornado that swept through the area on May 16th, of which people are trying to rebuild their lives, and they aren't receiving any of the support that they need to receive from the city hall, the state level, or national level. There's always a talk about, okay, we got this process in store for you. We freed up so much money. And we'll talk about some of the outcome of a recent town hall meeting that didn't give any of the community any tangible. People were going to this town hall meeting, they was looking for one thing basically, and that was a check so that they could start rebuilding their lives and their property. But once again, the city hall officials were just shoving and jiving, even though this particular meeting was called from the state representative at a higher level. Pardon me. So, but before we go further with the Sunday rally, we're going to ask everyone to please stand, and we will sing the African Nation Fight song.
Shout Uhuru for our freedom. We are winning. We'll dance and sing songs when revolution's won. We are winning. Africa's best daughters and sons. We are winning. Long live the liberation of our African nation. Freedom through organization. Socialist world of creation. 1 billion strong, yes, we are one. We are winning. Red, black, and green for you and me. We are winning. Won't stop the fight till we are free. We are winning. African workers, we must unite. We are winning. Against white power, the parasite. We are winning. Long live the liberation
are winning.
We are winning. Yes, yes, we are. Every day I feel I'm just little me, 4 feet. But every day I feel a little bit more liberated, a little bit easier to breathe, a better night's sleep than I did the night before, and a clearer mind because I know that's what it's going to take to win this fight. But you know what? We're on the right trajectory because we are winning. Uhuru. Yes, yes, yes. I'm just stepping in for a moment. I am Fofeet Usha Iri Al and I am a lifetime member of the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement. But my membership equals anybody's level membership that decide to come and become a fighter of this organization and become a member of the people that are working for Black people, because nobody's free until we're free first. Because we were the first ones that they used to start this, so we're gonna be the first ones that's being used to get rid of it. All right, Uhuru. Okay, let us move into political education. And this is the it's what from what we want and what we believe. Number 4 from the political the platform. Number 4 reads, we want the right to free speech and political association, a guarantee of the right to work for the betterment and emancipation of Black people without fear of political imprisonment and the loss of life, limb, and livelihood. I can go with that. What about you? That's what freedom is. I say it every day. I feel better. We believe that the liberation of African people throughout the world will come primarily as a result of our own efforts. We believe it is our duty to our mothers and fathers, our children, and ourselves to organize ourselves to overcome our oppression. We believe that the right to organization and speak out against our oppression are basic human rights, and that the United States government must discontinue its attempt to smash these rights and must discontinue criminal attacks on our African patriots who work for the betterment and the emancipation of our people.
That's right.
Uhuru! Uhuru. I have questions. Okay, comrades. Now tell me, number 4, we want the right to free speech. Okay? Words are energy, and energy is power, and it works on your mind so you can think, say, feel, and let other people know what you're thinking and feeling about. Because communication is the one thing that bridges the gap through any ideas. Okay? All right. And as a spoken word artist, I'd be damned if they stop me from saying anything.
That's right.
All right. All right. Can we get to our questions?
Sure.
Come on up, comrade, and finish this up. I think she's gonna do the question.
All right, Uhuru. So we're going to go ahead and go over the questions. The questions for the 4th point of the 14-point platform. And anyone who has the answer, please let it be known. The first question, it is our duty to A, fight for African liberation, B, organize to overcome our oppression, C, fight against the oppression of our parents and children and people, or D, all of the above. What is our duty? I believe that's right too, all of the above. All right, number two, it is our basic human right to A, speak out against our oppression, B, drive an SUV, as long as it's a Benz, that might not be, go to the grocery store, or none of the above. A, I think we're correct on that too. Speak out against oppression. And that's a part of what we've been doing continuously with this particular type of fight back, even prior to what has happened most recently in the city of St. Louis, always speaking up for what we know and believe to be right. Number three, we have a right to struggle for our liberation without a fear of political imprisonment, fear of loss of life and limb, fear of loss of livelihood, or D, all of the above. We have the right to struggle for our liberation without fear of political imprisonment, without fear of loss of life and limb, and fear of loss of livelihood.
Yes.
Uhuru. All right, so then that is the end of the questions that we do have for today. I want to appreciate everyone's participation into that. And when we talk about this particular point, you know, some obvious things come out of this point. Say, for example, when we say we want to say what we want to say and associate with any groups without any fear of reprisal, we basically mean that. So then we know that there are liberating forces around the world in the city of St. Louis, many political entities, many political organizations, and we can come together with people based on certain unities of principles, if we will. And we have the right to do that. So, for example, when, say, the Uhuru 3 were brought against with these bogus charges, it was a battle of free speech. You mean to tell me our people in our movement, our leadership, Chairman Omali Yeshitela, can't say that he disagrees or the movement disagrees with the imperialist war, regardless of who the war is against, if it's Russia against Ukraine? Of course, if there's some opposition to it, we're supposed to say that, because we know that this war, that war particularly, the centerpiece really is Africa, and how colonialism is going around the world. And we know that the white power structure colonized a whole continent, humongous continent, over 450 some countries at that particular time. And of course, some more have been added since then. But a whole continent was divided and balkanized by European powers. And all these European powers, the majority of them were the ones who, at that particular time, formed NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. And those are the colonizers on the international level, and they still want to colonize the world. So the fight back was for us to say that, no, we're against colonialism in any form. We're against imperialism in any form, and we got the right to say that, don't we? Uhuru?
Uhuru.
All right, so we don't have any oppositions to that. And also some other points that you may have picked up out of that, you know, is just that we believe that we are our own liberators. And so we know that, you know, who's going to free you if you don't free yourself? Does the enemy, does the oppressor, have they ever given you your freedom, your liberation? No, it's only been at the cost of your life, limb, blood, sweat, and tears, and your resources that you put into it to make it happen. And that's how it's happened. So I want to appreciate the political education, because I think no matter what we're doing in the world, we always have to have that political guidance, even in addition to and in light of an immediate situation that has confronted you. We talk about the tornado, and we're going to talk about that more and more. But we know that there still needs to be political direction, and there needs to be political guidance. And we, as the Uhuru movement, the International People's Democratic Uhuru movement, we help to bring that clarity. And we also seek to get further questions and clarity from the people who are involved. You know, there's a saying, from the people to the party, to the party to the people. So it's a reciprocal type of thing. We know some things, but we don't know all things. That's why the beauty of it is to have the people engaged. And when the people are engaged and putting their voices in their hands and everything, their creativity. That makes it so much easier, and the closer we become to getting liberated like we want to. And we always say liberation in our lifetime, and we can really get to that goal. We really can. It's just a matter of us continuing to fight back as we're doing. So we want to have a little bit of discussion or a little bit of update on the culture. Oh, the culture piece, pardon me. We do have a culture piece. Oh, we have a great culture piece too. We have our comrade Makeda, who is a member of the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement and a poet in the city of St. Louis. Comrade Makeda, come on up.
Uhuru. This piece is entitled "The Rule, Not the Exception." To be young, gifted, and Black, and only vaguely sense how divine that is not a flaw in me, but a charge against the system that tried to dull my shine before I even knew it was glowing. There was always something there, a hum, a pulse. At 6, I heard it, not in words, but in wonder. Like I was made of something ancient and unseen, called different, before I even knew the difference. I was gifted, but no schoolroom could frame it. I was powerful, but had no language for the charge in my chest, so I walked in mystery, with a sixth sense about a power I hadn't yet learned to name. To be Black in my eyes was to be blessed. I never knew the isolation, only the rhythm, the fullness, the gravity of us. See, I always felt Blacker than I showed up, like my soul wore kente, even when my clothes didn't. And those who looked the way I felt, oh, I bowed to them, not in worship, but in recognition, like seeing your reflection for the very first time in someone else's flame. My activism isn't cosplay. It's not stitched in slogans or dipped in hashtags. It ain't a weekend retreat or a curated identity. Those who know me, know me. My Blackness ain't seasonal. It's not a scarf I wrap for the gram. It's concentrated, it's carved deep, impenetrable like Sankofa's memory. My loyalty, it bleeds deeper than the surface talk. It burns in the fire of Traore's courage, in the hands of women who plant freedom in red earth. I'd give anything, no, everything, for the rise of my people. And now I know that thing inside me, that quiet knowing, it's the drumbeat of my ancestors calling me home. Home, not just to a place, but to a purpose. Africa sings in my bones and freedom walks beside me daily. See, to be Black and brilliant is not the exception. It's the rule. They tried to bury beneath chains, bullets, hidden imagery, and broken mirrors, but we've risen from every stolen page, every pillaged name, every lie they told about our greatness. We are the rule. We are the rhythm. We are the return. And I am finally awake to the secret, the sacred, the special that resides inside of me. Now I move not as a whisper, but as a storm with a purpose. Uhuru.
So we move as a storm with a purpose. What's that one? Where is it at? There it is right there. The Honorable Marcus Garvey said what? What did he say? Okay. Our ancestors live on. Okay. So now we're, pardon me about that. Now we will have some community discussion. We'll need your input. And also for those of you online, you can put it in the chat. We have a moderator. If you have any questions about what has been going on here in the city of St. Louis locally, most recently, then please do. And if you got some resources, information that you can share with us that can be maybe helpful for some of the people on the ground, that'd be pretty good to hear too. So just kicking it off, there was the town hall meeting on the 26th, right? And it was held, it was called by the state rep, what's her name? Kimberly Collins. Yeah, Kimberly Ann Collins. And, the people were some, were leery about it, but some were excited. But it was an opportunity to win the people, if you think about it in a certain kind of way. And so the city officials were here. The mayor was here. They had their local militia known as the police. They were here. And the whole thing, and I didn't attend, so, just based off of what I was hearing and how we were communicating, it almost came off as if it was like a job fair, because they had their tables there, they had the information, they had whatever literature they wanted you to see, and they would tell you, all the vainglorious things that they would tell you that were supposed to calm you down, placate you, but yet and still, I have my information, there is still a lot of money that's left on the table, and people came there to that meeting, and they were wanting basically one thing. They wanted some compensation. They wanted their reparations. They wanted some money. They need some money to repair the damages to their particular property, to their houses, to their real estate, not some charity type of token or handout. Say, okay, let me give you $300 here. Maybe you can get temporary housing there. Maybe you can, get a light bill here. Maybe you can pay a gas bill here or there, or something of that nature. Granted, the people say, okay, we thank you for a little bit, but we know that this ain't nothing for us for real. You just playing with our emotions. Even when they had the meeting weeks ago, when they talked about freeing up to $30 million, okay, you're going to free up to $30 million. The people spoke then and say, okay, thank you for that. But that ain't enough. $30 million, basically, to be honest, if you got $30 million, you may be able to do something for about 10 different houses. If you want to do something that's going to be substantial. You understand? They got this one running figure when they talked about bringing the $71 million down from FEMA. All right. FEMA, you could get up anywhere from $700 up to $43,600, supposedly. All right. So basically, everybody that's affected by that storm need that max out automatically. You don't need to start it off at no low nim. You don't even come to the people with no low ball. Come with the highest dollar amount you got. And if it's $43,600, everybody on Northside need that right now. Not tomorrow. And of course, we know y'all know what I'm saying. You know where we're going with this. They playing the people and they playing with us. But the people have been resilient, and the people are still raising their voices. And we'll not sit down until victory is won. I can guarantee you that. I think our people going to guarantee you that, because we're not through with City Hall. They think that they through with us, but we're not through with them. We brought the tornado. They brought the tornado to us. We're bringing it right back to them. And we finna destroy their whole system. We finna uproot them, and just like they uproot the North Side. And we're gonna see, with FEMA gonna come to save them at that time when they need to. And FEMA don't give a darn about you no way. I don't care what you are. So we do want to have some input, and we do know some forces who had attended that so-called town hall community meeting most recently on the 26th. So we definitely want to hear from you and get your sentiments on what was said and how you see everything playing out with the local government and not playing out with the local government, as a matter of fact. So, because one of the things that these community events, we do want to hear from people, but we also want to have engagement, and we do want to have some type of plan of action moving forward. We don't want to just come here every Sunday and just talk about the problem. It may be a little bit difficult to solve, and it's maybe a little bit difficult for us to put our heads around and wrap our hands on it and say what way forward, but we do know the power of the people. We do know the power of the people. We know that the people can tell us and we can share with the people, but once we put our collective geniuses together and our resources together, there's nothing going to stop us. Like the Marcus Garvey said, mighty whirlwind on a storm, like Comrade Makeda's poem was talking about. We're talking about bringing all this full circle so that we can have our just reward. And it's going to be done in our hands, because we know that the enemy is not ever in the past not going to give us our freedom. We play politics. We know we got a system, so they got the money, so they got to free it up. but we know they're not doing it like they're supposed to, and the people are still calling on all those resources. If there's $1 billion worth of damages, every day that you don't give us anything is something that's tacked on to that. So when they came out saying it was $1.6 billion, 45 days later, arbitrary number, add another 45 million on that. So, we're talking about $2 billion or better that we already know that is on there. So, that note is due. Just like they want their rent money, they want you to pay for your gas, they want their mortgage, they want their taxes on your property, they want their real estate taxes, they want all your dollars to run city government and to management, and they want it now. And like you said, they want it now. And when you don't give it to them now, what they gonna do? They're gonna send you a citation. You ain't paid your bill yet. We finna put you in collection. Let your grass get that tall. That's $25. You need to cut it tomorrow. Okay, maybe I can, maybe I can't. But yet and still, they let the developers do whatever they want to with their property. And we can see how neglected that property is, but I kind of digressed a little bit. So community discussion. Let's get some discussion. Let's hear from the people. And once again, if you've got any comments on this situation, if you were at the town hall meeting and you online, we'll take your comments too and look to incorporate them inside of our meeting at this particular time. Uhuru? All right. Fist up! Fist up! Touch one! Touch all! All right, Uhuru. Is that one of our comrades coming up? Okay. You can use that mic there. Or you can come to the podium, that way all of it's captured online.
Okay,
Uhuru.
I was at the town hall that just happened. It was terrible. I mean, it was a real kind of pony show that they put on, that the state put on, because there were a lot of state reps. It seemed like they brought out their entire police, because the African community is still outraged about the lack of relief and response from the city. The city's staying on $1 billion worth of funds that it can use to redevelop and revitalize and help rebuild. Kara Spencer, the mayor, had said something to the effect that it would take years to rebuild. That was her answer to the people who needed help right then, right there, right now. Still need help. There's still people who are living in tents that we had seen. Her another solution that she had given was this a continuation of charity politics that we continue to see in this community and in the entire Northside. Anytime that the people are demanding long-term solutions, the city continues to show that it is either unable or unwilling to do so. And so there's a whole new wave of people who are houseless, who are sleeping in tents. There's a new wave of people who can't find a meal to eat and things like that. But the solutions to these things are, they're solutions that we've been working on. The Uhuru movement has been working on for years in terms of redeveloping and revitalizing this entire West Florissant corridor. You can find those solutions here. And that's right. And what the city needs to do, and still is refusing to do, is that not only are the people willing and able to self-deploy to help themselves, they've shown that all throughout, this entire time that this tornado, since the tornado has happened, just immediately after the tornado, the people self-deployed. The people are willing and able to do it, and they are doing it. They just need the funds, all the funds, all the funds. $1.6 billion was estimated in terms of damages, and we haven't seen a drop. And what has continued to be invested in things like that is this charity politics that we have to continue to be on our knees. If the city is saying that that we're wrong in terms of the Uhuru movement, in terms of this being a land grab that the city is deploying. If the city is saying that this is not a land grab, then where are the cranes?
Okay.
Where are the brakes? Where are these army of engineers and builders who can help to rebuild this community and all of Northside who were affected through this tornado? We do have the builders. We do have people who know how to build roofs, to fix homes, fix cars. Some of the cars were damaged, and fences and all these things. They exist right here in the community, and people have shown their power in order to do so. And what the city needs to do is fund Black power, because what we saw being self-employed was Black power. Power that exists in the community. It always exists in the community. We had to survive somehow. Throughout this entire, not only tornado, but over the course of 50 years, and since our being brought here and things like that. Black power exists, readily exists, and what the city can do is unite with the power that exists here in the community, among the people, and help the revitalizing effort that needs to happen. If this is not a land grab, then the city needs to prove it. They need to prove it materially. It's sitting on $1 billion. They need to prove it. And so it's important for us to continue to push that. And I would also ask among the audience here and as well as people that have this conversation about the difference between charity politics that the city continues to play among the community and this real effort of economic development that needs to occur, independent economic development that the Uhuru movement continues to show the path forward and things like that. That's all. That's all I'll say now. Uhuru.
Okay, and so just look at some of the figures that came out of this meeting in terms of some of the money that is floating around the city. So for affordable housing production, rental, and sale, there's $6 million. And what does that do? That will support new construction, rehabilitation of residential and mixed-use developments and home buyers assistance. Okay, that's money that was proposed. Those are funds that they have out there that they have not put in a concrete a pot or in a concrete way. That's just one. Another one, they have home art, permanent supportive housing. That's $4.89 million. These funds houses and services for vulnerable populations, including those experiencing homelessness. Right off the bat with that one, you could take it down the street and start dishing that out. And then the pro housing fund, they have proposed $3.25 million. Now, even though these are proposals, this is money that they know that it's there, that they can be used. What would this $3.25 million be for? It would support, and it supports rehabilitation of city-owned residential properties in the Dr. Martin Luther King Drive demonstration area to increase affordable housing and to reduce blight in the Ville. And we know from where we're located, the Ville and Dr. Martin Luther King is just south of us. So it's not maybe about 5 minutes south of there. Here you'll be in that particular area. And we know that particular area was hit very hard, just all of it. But that area is historic to the city of St. Louis. And even if you talk about historical credits, that whole area should have just received those from the flip long time ago. Just historically talking about the Ville, that should have been just tax exempt and everything. But nevertheless, neighborhood, the other one, funding, neighborhood plan implementation. All right, they have $1.5 million for that. What does that do? Provides funding to activate projects aligned with neighborhood plans adopted by the city, St. Louis, from January 2019 to July of this year. July of this year, rather, 2025. And it would be designed for, basically that money, they say, would be designed for downtown, North Central, or our planned neighborhood. They have certain initiatives, but what they would do with this money, and talk about the development neighborhood, this money would be earmarked for a neighborhood that's southwest southwest of where we are right now. So that would be in a neighborhood that's near the Central West End. And it's basically an upscale or moderately middle-class neighborhood already. And it's close to the Metrolink and Forest Park. So they're skillful with that money, how they would try to allocate that if you know a little bit about the demographics of St. Louis. But you know, all this money needs to come to what side of town?
Northside.
Community, the next pot that they got, community development grants, neighborhood beautification and green community spaces, $500,000. Okay, grants range from $50K to $100K for vacant lot beautification, cleanup, green spaces, and projects. You know, the city, to tell you how egregious and disingenuous this is, people in the city of St. Louis, I've known for years, live next to a vacant lot. The city would not give them that vacant lot to say they like. In some cases, all they wanted to do with the vacant lot is to make it parking so that they can park and come up off the street or whatever they want to do with it. But I had a friend many years ago. They bought the house, Walnut Park neighborhood, bought the house right here. Right next there is a vacant lot, and then right there's a house. The city would not come and clean it up to save their life. They let the trees grow, they let the rubbish grow and everything, and it's a city-owned property. Friend said, I will buy it. Did you think they ever sold it to them? No. That place is still like that 30 years later. Our community wants the beautification. You understand? Our community has already demonstrated that if you got a lot next to me and you ain't doing nothing with it, we'll take over. We'll put a fence around it, we'll keep the grass cut if we don't do nothing else to it. Yeah. It'll be nice looking. If we want to, we make a community garden or we grow our own food. We can do something with it. We have demonstrated that in the past. We got the willingness to demonstrate it now. City, what? Benign neglect and no contempt for African people, period. Just flat out don't give a damn about us, to keep it 100. So this disaster relief funds and all this, what they're talking about, the disaster relief provision in the legislation addressed both the devastation of May 16 tornado in St. Louis and the damages suffered by other Missourians in the storms and flood earlier this year. So right off the flip, what they're doing now is they consolidating okay, you had a flood back in the day, you had like March, there was a serious, storm that hit the area. So it did a lot of damage too. Now the flood. So now what they're going to do, okay, we're going to lump that all together. So when they do that, that means that any type of help that you would be getting on the north side is going to be minimized because now they have other demographics in it. And those other demographics become your Claytons and they become your Ladues in certain part of University City, et cetera, et cetera. No offense to you, City, or some of these other places, but that's how they move. They take the money from you to give it to somebody else who got insurance, because they ain't gonna let you live out there without no insurance, no way. And you gotta have insurance on $1 million house. Be a fool not to. Plus, you got the means and the resources to do that anyway, because you make that kind of money. So $25 million for home repairs and other housing needs through the program of Missouri Housing Development Commission. That's there, that's available, and it's available in any county, including a request from federal aid disaster. So they say any county. So St. Louis is considered a county to a degree. So there's $25 million there that the disaster can go to. You can go to the west and north side of St. Louis. So the money, all I'm doing is reading you a list of funds that are there that they have not released. And this isn't even talking about all the other money that they got. I'm skipping over the 71 million that the Fed's supposed to be bringing down. And the little pittance of the 30 billion, didn't mention that in this. We talked about it already, but we know this money, if you put it in your mind, is compound. And you can see that there is a lot of money. There's a lot of resource. There's a lot of wealth that city government, state, and feds can free up and should have freed up now. You talk about it was at the time, it was 45 days. It's about 50 days later, damn near 2 months later, since this particular incident has happened to West Northside, and we ain't got nothing yet. Last thing, some documentation. This comes from one of their job fairs that they had the other day. Tax credit worth up to $5,000 for insurance deductibles paid for residential damage in an area included in a request for federal disaster aid. In addition to this, you can get some more money, supposedly from the feds. The legislation would allow $90 million in claim this year and $45 million per year for future years to come. So they're telling us, yeah, they're waving it in our face. Yeah, we got the money. We got it, yeah. And this is what it can do. Yeah, with their stipulations, you can get it, but they ain't trying to give it to you. They trying to make it difficult. Come on up. Yeah, the community discussion. Come on up. Trying to make it more difficult for you and to demoralize you, knowing that these resources are here, but they're trying to demoralize you not to get to them. Go ahead.
Uhuru, yeah, one thing that I forgot to mention is that the, where this meeting had occurred was at a pretty large gymnasium. And you know, it could fit hundreds of people. And they got like a few chairs. You know, most people were standing. Most of the people, it seemed like nearly the entire neighborhood was out, you know, with the expectation that there would be real solutions for them. And not too long after it had started, you know, people were asking questions and, you know, they were giving the mic to speak and things like that. The people understood there was no solutions. The city has brought in, you know, what, 7 state reps trying to calm, you know, the African community. It brought the mayor. It brought damn near every sheriff and police in town. The firefighters and all these things. And then it had multiple tables of different organizations who, you know, who the city funds that was supposed to help and stuff like that. And the people quickly realized not too long after it started, after they started asking real questions, demanding, you know, real things be addressed and things like that, and a solution be provided for, because the state is sitting on millions of dollars, billions of dollars that it can use. And once the people recognize that there were no solutions to be found in that meeting, even amongst, you know, city officials and all these different groups and things like that, they left. They left. It was like a mass exodus that had happened. You know, the people were left to fend for themselves. They recognized that. And so, you know, but once again, you know, they were able, to recognize this thing of short-term solutions being suggested.
Is that what?
But no real long-term, you know, the thing being given in resources, cash money being handed to the people so that they can, you know, work to resolve, you know, the housing and all these things that they need to do immediately. That was their expectation. That was the people's expectation in that meeting. And so, anyway, so.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyone else before we leave or something? So, you know, once again, I'm going to harp back on this, where's the money thing at? So most recently, last week in the city, Aldrich and some other officials, they got together and they said that, okay, we need to free up some money for a derelict old hotel downtown. Years ago, it used to be the Clarion. But it's the Millennium Center. It's that circular building. It got weeds growing out the top of it. It has been for thousands of years, it seemed like. So now they know that they got money to do this for developers to say, okay, there's a developer who's going to come into town and we're going to put so many millions of dollars of this. And this is basically your money, tax money. So it lets you know where their priorities really are. If you got that kind of money for a building that you ain't cared about for all this time, you know, it's been there, it's been falling apart for years. Like I say, earlier it used to be the Clarion and it used to be something else with the little rotating thing on top. So it was a cool little hotel or whatever, as cool as a hotel it could be, but they let it stay derelict for all these years. Now the fight is on, fight back. We need the money for the Northside. So they start to give you these like placate, they're playing with your intelligence. All right, we got $30 million for you can get here. It's going to take about another month before we can figure out how you fill out an application so you can get it. All right, in the between time, we're going to squeeze in these $18 million that we need to get to this hotel for redevelopment. The other thing that's so disingenuous about this area and the regions of the people, if you may have followed this, you know that they got money too. So the city, you know, they got the little puppy shelter out here. You know, don't get me wrong, dogs and they fine and all like that, pets. But they need $18 million for that facility to stay open. This facility doesn't even have a license, but yet it's open. So you mean to tell me you willing to fund a building that should be regulated, supposed to have license in order to operate, you know it don't have license, it hasn't had license for more than a couple of years, but you want to try to give them $18 million of the city money. That money would come out of the RAM settlement, of course. $18 million. All right, and they got the nerve to tout that. What could now $18 million, you know, it could do a little something, but stop trying to take chunks and pieces off the money. And so when the people come that really need it, they say, well, we already allocated so much, so we ain't even got that much no more. So what you gonna do? Okay, charity case. Okay, Conrad, you have another, she was at the meeting and can tell us give us some insight on that.
Yeah, Uhuru, I was at that town hall meeting, and I really want to unite with what Comrade Emmanuel was saying. It was just really insulting. It was absolutely insulting. There were hundreds of people in that room. The room was packed. There were people standing, so much so that periodically they kept asking the people to calm down, you know, listen to what is being said. But the people didn't want to hear what was being said because they were being placated, being patronized, being demeaned and humiliated. People wanted real. They came there for a check.
Yeah.
They came to get money. They want to repair. They want to, and the excuses that they were given was that it's going to take time. You know, it took Joplin 11 years to recover. But there is no one that is. The city has not organized one crane, one bulldozer, one person with a pickaxe, a shovel, or anything to help these people whose homes have been totally and completely demolished. They have a little cash grant, a little cash assistance thing that you could go over there and get that piece of paper. Nothing was encouraging people to apply for FEMA. People are under the misconception that if I don't have any insurance, then you know, this is non-applicable to me. But for me, FEMA is supposed to be there in this particular type of situation. It took a month before they hit any neighborhood encouraging anyone to apply for FEMA. So I'm saying to everyone that's in this room, if you were impacted by the storm, you need to file a claim. File a claim.
Point blank.
File a claim. There is $3,000 supposedly that you can get from some agency. They didn't encourage people to fill out the form. Nothing was, get up now. Someone's in the room. They will hand you an application and you can go tomorrow and get your money. Nothing like that was said to people. Everything was meant to demoralize, humiliate, and demean the people while they stood up there and thumped their chest about how good they are and how they're praying for the Northside while they're sitting on all of this money. The demand from the International People's Democratic Uhuru movement and the Uhuru movement at large has been all of the money. They had another town hall meeting 2 weeks before where everyone that was in the room stood up and said, we need all the money. And then they turned around 2 weeks later and said, look, we're so great, we've allocated all this money, but not a red cent for the people to be able to get. If your home is demolished, unlivable, what is $3,000 going to do? What is the Red Cross providing a hotel for you? And I might add, what they did say was that hotel, someone with the Red Cross or another one of the agencies was saying, oh, well, that contract is ended, so now we're going to take part of the money that's allocated for people in disasters and give it to a hotel contractor to be able to house people instead of giving people the money to be able to go and buy their own house or rebuild their own house. It makes no sense. And it's going to take this entire community to really fight and really push and keep making this demand for the money, because if not, in a few more weeks, See, now they're taking the time to try to get the plan together, figure out exactly how much they're gonna inch out with little bits and tidbits that they're gonna give people 5 and 6. Remember, it's gonna take time. So you may get 3,000 over here, and maybe 6 months from now you may get another 3,000. But how does that help rebuild a life? And I unite with the whole charity politic that this city has, especially when it comes to dealing with the North Side. And what I'm suggesting that anyone that is in this room to stand up, make your voice heard, and fight back. We've got to continue to push back and make this city do. It's our money.
Yes.
It's our money. We are due reparations. We want our reparations, and we want it now. Our lives have been torn apart, and we want to repair. Uhuru.
Fist up,
Fight back.
fist up,
Fight back.
one Africa,
Okay.
one nation. Right, that's what it's about. So I mean, even if, and I appreciate the comment from a comrade King, but just going back to this whole old hotel, Millennium Hotel, you can house people in that. Ain't nobody been in it for that long.
Yeah.
It ain't nothing really wrong with on the inside. I mean, you let trees grow on the top of it, but that can house so many people right now. And if it's talk about temporary housing, then that could be temporary housing. Ain't nothing really wrong with the plumbing. You got AC in that mug. The only reason it's closed is because it went out of business. It couldn't support itself. The owners couldn't support it. So everything is still intact in that. All you got to do is go and do a little update maybe and start letting people come in and stay there. That could be the temporary housing. It's sheltered.
That's a good idea.
I mean, it's hot as hell outside. You finna get into the dog days of summer. You understand? We know what they're about. Then you're gonna get into the cold of winter. We know what that's about. You understand? Old girl, she couldn't remove the snow, but hell, you can't remove bricks. So don't get it twisted. Go ahead, comrade Fofeet.
Uhuru, comrade, when I saw the Millennium Hotel on TV, what they're going to revitalize it.
Sure.
That's where I went for my 8th grade graduation.
Yeah.
They took our class there in 1969 to go around in the circular hotel. That was our treat. Okay, 1969. And it's been looking like it's been looking since before then. So I agree with you. They need to take it and clean some of the areas out and house people there where they already own it.
Yeah.
Instead of paying somebody Red Cross to do some,
Yeah.
don't get me talking about the Red Cross.
Tell it like it is. We need to know the truth.
When I can tell you exactly when Haiti had the earthquake,
Yep.
this group that I performed with called Soul Vibe, we were at Legacy and we did a benefit concert. We sent them over $500 to the Red Cross for the people in Haiti. About 2 years later, we got a receipt saying where the money went. Okay, out of over $500, it wasn't a whole lot of money, but it was what we had raised. The people of Haiti was sent like $89. The rest of the resources went to administrative fees and this fee and that fee, but what they actually got out of that $500 was $89. So if you got $1 to give to the Red Cross, I got a benefit that you can give it to me. Okay, and I will let you know where it goes. That's what we do here at the Uhuru Movement. We are transparent with every dollar that we receive. Okay, and that I'm gonna tell you, I was just so upset. 2 years later, $89. And the Millennium Hotel, no thank you. Uhuru.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that ain't the only place that they got that they can use temporary housing on the city in the city of St. Louis downtown. There are other buildings down there that developers are trying to buy, but ain't nobody doing nothing with them. All of it could be temporary housing or some type of transitional housing that at least is safe for people. And if you follow the business report, there are developers that come in and try to get some of these properties, especially on Tucker, like the what was that, the old senior citizen people's building. But anyway, not to be offensive, but I can't call them Jefferson Apartments or whatever it was. But anyway, Jefferson Arms, right? Developer come, can't get it, don't want it no more. Deal falls through. That's exactly how it happened. Still abandoned, still open. Who in there? Nobody. Who could be in there? All these people that's living under these tents, you know. And granted, you know, it's a nefarious thing and it's really insidious because in some cases they don't have any recourse because the vultures are out here. You can't even leave your property because they're gonna come and steal your bricks, your St. Louis bricks. And it's so not funny, but it's very interesting that PBS did a story on this earlier this week about these bricks in St. Louis. You would think that these bricks are made out of gold. These bricks in St. Louis, of course, there are some good bricks because Missouri is a clay-based soil. So then you can go in your backyard and you can basically make a brick because of all the clay that's mixed with it. Of course, if you do some gardening, you might have some other amenities to it. But that's what makes it such a strong brick. And, you know, throughout the past, St. Louis and over bricks, shipped them all over the world and everything of that nature. But people are coming to profit off of your bricks. I don't know how much one brick gonna cost you, but if you got a pallet full of bricks, you doing good. You know, it's worth its weight in gold. And these scavengers and vultures, they know about that. And when the city start putting all these colorful tags on your buildings, red, yellow, green, orange, it just opened up the doorway for more looting to occur. You know, and these people come from the south side, get in their truck, drive right up here on North Taylor or whatever. They see them bricks, try to get them and haul off. That's why the lady and the man got to be in the tent on the outside of their house with a shotgun, sleeping at night, because they know that, you know, they're going to get their house back together one way or the other. But they also know them vultures are out there and they waiting for them and they're ready to put a cap that, you know what I'm finna say. So, you know, yeah, and I'm supporting the people, you know, stay in arms, you know, stay ready for these vultures that's coming for your stuff, because the city ain't protecting. And they got the nerve to bring the martial law out there. The police was in the meeting, huh? Yeah. They was up there in full detail, I bet. Regalia, ready to go. You know, they ready to do some battle with the people. They already called a curfew on us, and they brought out these National Guards that didn't do nothing but demoralize the people or try to intimidate the people. But you know, in the Uhuru movement, we know better. We know a whole lot better. So if there are there any more discussions? And right now, I didn't see anything online. Once again, you can still put it in the comment section. If you got something to say, you want something to say, make a comment, please let it be known. And we'll check it. I haven't seen anything most recently. Anybody else that didn't say anything, you could talk. Come on. What now?
Right. I know it was mentioned earlier, or we could drive an SUV. I just want to say that for too long, we could not get the better house, the better job. So that's why clothes and cars became a status symbol for us. So I want to say, in light of everything, new subject, in light of everything that's happened, anytime you lose 7 people, yes, that's classified as in addition to everything that's happened, that's classified as a massacre. So I just want to make that clear.
And it is, like she said, it's a continuation of a genocide. Go ahead.
And one of the other things to be mindful about too is the fact that they're doling the money out little by little. They already know the mindset of people, or not even the mindset of people, but just people in their everyday needs. Yeah. If you give them a little bit, by the time you give them the rest, the first part is gonna be gone because they're just trying to make it day by day. Where if you gave people the money in a lump sum, then they'll go ahead and do what they need to do. Right. So that's one of the other things we gotta be mindful of too.
Yeah, now that's a great point. Yeah, you know, you trying to piecemeal people, and you know, people, they might come out for their resources, but they get tired of that piecemealing. Give them the whole meal, give them everything that they deserve up front.
You can't get anything
the ban. Granted, good, really, and there is a, you know, activity to you, just not to nevertheless.
Uhuru, it's really choppy. I'm barely hearing, or I don't see anything and I hear very little.
Okay, well, we can proceed. Conrad Penny, you're gonna come on up and say something about this. So technology will catch up with us.
I'm the chair of the African People Solidarity Committee, the organization of white people under the leadership of Chairman Omali and the Uhuru movement. And our mandate is to go into the white community, to organize other white people, to build a movement for white reparations to African people, and to stand in genuine solidarity with the struggle that we see going on right here of African people for freedom and liberation. So our center is at 2654 Gravois, and it was not damaged in the tornado. And I really appreciate this meeting. I salute Kumba and of course my chair, my leadership, Chairman Omali and Deputy Chair Onizane Shatella. And I first of all want to say that I heard, the chairman sum up. Somebody needs to go to jail. Somebody needs to go to jail. I mean, we saw here 7 people, from this community that were basically murdered because the city did not do what it was supposed to do, which is to sound the alarm. And it didn't go off. And that's not just a little thing, because I think everybody that lives here, we hear that alarm all this time of year. I know, like at my house, I had permanent chairs in our sort of musty old basement. And you're just ready to go down there if you hear those sirens.
Yeah.
But the fact that, these people did not hear it because the city forgot to sound the alarm is criminal. I mean, that's criminal. How could that just be, oh, well, sorry? That there has to be a price paid. And I agree that the resources, have to come to the north side. And I also wanted to say that a tornado on the same day plopped down in the middle of a white area, as we know, in the county, that is very upscale, that I have driven through there, and there is there were trees, the trees and all of the debris was taken away by the very next day. And, people had insurance there. They have these mansions, they have insurance there, as you said. They're not out there with the city, give us resources, they have it. And, and so it's just like the 2 different realities of this system. And this is what the chairman calls the colonial mode of production, colonialism. That white people live at the expense of the African population, and it just plays out in every situation that happens. And now it seems like, without any resources, they're condemning people's homes. Why would they condemn them? And then they turn off the electricity so people can't fix their houses. And
Right.
It's a land grab. And then I saw in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch just the other day that some corporation has already come in and bought 700 houses. And it's gonna be a lot more than that. These businesses are gonna, buy up the houses there to gentrify this neighborhood, so the NGA can move in as it is doing. And it's just outrageous. And I know there was the Team Floor plan in years past, the same story over and over again, withholding the resources consciously from the city's influence for the African community. And I unite that there has to be the ongoing fight, the struggle. They have the resources and they have to come to this community, and somebody's got to go to jail because people die. As somebody said, it's a massacre. That many people die, and now people are living in their houses with no walls. You know, they're still living in their houses with whole walls missing, and in this heat, and no resources, and more people now, it seems like, are dying. You know, still. So I just really want to unite with this struggle. It is something that that I want to call on the white community to stand with the Northside and join the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. And we are having a summer intensive that starts next week. So you can go to info@uhurusolidarity.org and find out more about that.
Right on. Unity through.
Reparations.
So that's what that's about. Unity through reparations, and that's part of what we've been calling for. Reparations are due, and we want it from you too, City Hall. You need to pay up. I mean, there are other things that you could really say about this disaster. Or how it's been left this way. So when you're driving on Union and coming to West Side, I grew up in that particular neighborhood, and visually it messed with me because where once I saw trees, and these were some old trees, oak trees or whatever, magnificent trees, they like cleared out. Yeah. And it, even on a sunny day, it looked eerie to me. The other day when I was going through this way to O'Fallon Park, to see, it looked like land clearing. I mean, it is cleared out, don't get me wrong, but it looked like organized land clearing. And of course, that means when it gets hot, there's no good circulation of air. And there are ecological factors that come into play as well. So this whole thing really becomes diabolical. The longer that they try, and of course, it wouldn't have taken them nothing to plant a tree. You didn't see where they even went to plant trees next to these trees that they cut down, because tree plant is really simple. A tree will reproduce itself. You just cut that twig off, put it in the ground, and before you know it, it's going to grow again. But that's how simple it is. And that's how much they don't care about it. So yeah, it's very devastating. And it also made it where that we couldn't have the One Africa, One Nation marketplace in the park because it's unsafe for us. And we had fought for it for so many years to have it, having it out here and to have it in a wider space. Next thing you know, boom, that's knocked out the door. So we got to bring it back here. But that means that we continue to fight back, So we're
the Black Power blueprint disaster relief.
And that's the importance of the Black Power Blueprint relief effort that goes on, and that has been going on since we've seen this particular incident. Okay, there was nothing else from the audience. No further discussion. So we won't belabor it. Yes, sir. You got a question? Come on up so we can hear you, if you don't mind.
When it comes to like who all you interact with as far as South Side, West Side, is there any type of unity when it comes to this movement?
Oh, we work with all African people, and we work with anybody who wants to work with us. We don't discriminate, if that's what you're talking about. So what you got in mind?
I mean, for the young youth, we got different ways of reaching the youth, especially in this day. And if I could come from my process, I like to convert, and just open mind. And overall, it's common sense that we have been talking about. We just want what we need and what we deserve. And I'm just saying, I might bring something different to the picture or whatnot. And I'm just overall, my mom, she's on the South Side, and she got Stores of a Mission. I think there's some program she's into. And overall, we want the same objective. You know what I mean? But it's a lot of fraudulent and things that can happen in between time. So I was just asking about how much are you guys connected with other community gardens and projects to outreach for the youth.
Well, I mean, we do have certain levels of connections, and just in terms of that last piece, like for example, the Black Power Blueprint goes out and get a lot of volunteers, young volunteers, especially from some of the local colleges and whatever little groups of institutions. So whatever resources we have or know-how, say for example, the group that you're talking about, and of course they do some work in the community garden. I mean, they help clean that out. They plant this or plant that, and get exposed to different things and skills. What they have, they bring to us, and we share certain political information with them. Of course, the International People's Democratic Uhuru movement is in the same vein. So for example, we need to exchange information. We need to find out exactly, and we need to just make it happen. Be quick and point. Whatever you're talking about unification with our people. Where we can go. Let's get there and let's do it. It's as simple as that.
To answer my question, most definitely, I think we are in days where we have a lot of different mindsets and a lot of people bickering about not what's important, but overall we have some of the same things that we need to handle. So overall political situation, I think that's something we all have to hit and get everybody aware of what's going on with those jobs.
And you say you live on the west side?
Yeah, I'm on this side.
On this side. Was your place okay?
Yeah, it was less than damage.
Yeah.
I did fill out for the finger thing, and ain't nobody got a hold of it.
How long ago did you fill out for that?
About 3 days ago.
3 days ago?
Make sure you follow your email and call. So as long as you got a claim number, a case number, you can get information.
But yeah, that's my time right there.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you. So, yeah, and that's what that's about. These events are for us in the movement, but these are for our community too. So that right there is a networking opportunity. That's something that we're going to move on at the end of this meeting. So we're going to see what we can do in the future together with our people, because we know we are already self-deployed. They basically telling us don't do nothing for yourself, but we're not hearing that. We didn't hear it. So Uhuru, I want to appreciate that. Was there any other comments or questions? And if not, we're going to go ahead and make the call for resources and membership. And we'll have our comrade coming up momentarily. Fight back.
Keep up faster.
Fight back. Can't stand no taller.
Yes, I can.
Oh, there she goes. She got taller.
Okay, comrades, I'm here to say thank you, and I really am feeling this meeting that we've had, because if you have not filled out any information that you have found out about, not that you found it out from the people that's supposed to give you the money, find out whatever you can and put your name down so you can get something. Get something. Don't turn nothing down. Don't turn nothing away. Don't turn nothing down but your collar. Okay? Get that dollar. It's yours. Actually, more. But get what you got. Get what you can. Our goal today, I'm going to say $75. And that includes you online, people. All right. Our goal is $75. And I will do the other 25 to make it 100. But I need $75 today, because you know what? The information that we want to get out to you, to our community, to our neighbors, to our store owners that are no longer open because they had damage and they can't open up right now. We want to get that information out to them. And the way to do that is by flyers, by word of mouth, by going to these areas and speaking to people, which takes gas. But the thing is, every dollar that we receive here at this movement is transparent. You will see it in the electricity, because it's kind of hot today. but we're cool in here because we have electricity and we have the information, but we have to get it out. And that's why we need your resources. For the simple reason, nothing is free. If it's free, it's not worth it. All right? It's a temporary fix. So along beside that, if you are not a member of this organization, now is the time to become one. Because you know what? Every member has the right to spread your ideas, bring your friends, find somebody else to fight with, because you can't do it by yourself. You cannot do it by yourself. The thing I like to use is this finger is one finger. I can express a lot with that finger, but I can't win nobody. But with a fist that punches a blow, and that blow will get your attention, and it'll allow you to open your mind and take in what I'm trying to say. All right, let's do a fist for revolution. And we have to do this, y'all. We have to do it. I entertained one of my God brothers this past week, and I was telling him about what the work that I do here, what keeps me busy. Because he said, you always busy. I said, there's always work to be done. And I gifted him with our paper. I said, now read about what I do. And he's from Philly. Not from Philly, Phoenix, I'm sorry. And he plays around the world, famous drummer. And when he played, I want him to beat for the liberation of African people. Wherever he go, I want him to see the difference between where we are and where we should be. Yes. What we're doing and what we should be doing. People that are listening to his music, take the message out, you know. So I'm proud of what I do, and I can still have fun because I do that too. If you want to be a member, can we get that up? Membership, donations. Did I tell you how to donate online? I didn't do that. They saw it? Okay, good. I was too busy talking. To become a member, you can join at the basic level, which is $25, and we still need to get this updated. This was supposed to end the first of the year, but it ran for a couple more months, and we still haven't got it changed. Basic membership is $25 a year. Musa Abantu level InPDUM member is a $10 membership, which is for students and unemployed members. Now, that's only for the year that you're unemployed. The next year, we want you to get a job because your improvement means our improvement, okay? But $10 for the basic level. I mean, for the Musa Abantu level for students and unemployed. The George Jackson, Desi Wood level of InPDUM membership is for our brothers that are incarcerated and our sisters that are incarcerated, because you know it's not just one. It's our people. So they can be brought up on what's going on in the world. They may have left it 5 years ago when they had a neighborhood, but when they come back, they don't see a neighborhood or their family or anything that's familiar. But when they become a member, we can get them newspapers behind bars to keep them aware and what's going on in their world outside of where they are now. Okay? And our goal is to keep them out, give them a life so they can get back into life and be productive for themselves and for their family. Becoming a InPDUM member, I'm gonna give you my reason. I had celebrated my 60th birthday, and I was trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to do, because I know retirement was coming up. What am I going to do? And then it was decided for me when that colonialist policeman murdered Mike Brown. And at the time I was doing what I do a lot of is vacation. I was in California with my son, and it seemed like my phone would not stop clicking because Missouri, well, not Missouri, St. Louis had been put on martial law. And I said, okay, this is going to change everything I do, and everything I see in my life was going to be different, but I didn't know how. When I came back about a week later, my cousin said, Chairman is coming to town and he wants to do a event at Legacy and he needs culture. Do you want to do culture? Well, she knew every chance I could get on the mic, I was there. I didn't know who Chairman was. I knew Mike Brown had been killed and I know what was going to happen. So I went, I listened, I joined. Because I knew in that one moment when I was listening to Chairman, he answered a question I had in my head for over 60 years and nobody could answer. Nobody had even thought about it. So I tried everything I could before that. And after that, I knew I was in the right place. I knew I was doing the right thing. And I've been doing this for 11 years. So I'm trying to pass it on by example, because you can tell a person, okay, go jump off that bridge over there. And they look at you like you're crazy. But if you jump off that bridge, they might say, wait a minute, might be something to that. Okay, maybe it's something I'm missing. But if they jumped off the bridge, they would have found that, hey, it was only about that big underneath and you didn't hurt yourself. And when you get there, you may find a prize. So lead by example, join the International People Democratic Uhuru movement, and make a statement with everything you do, every day you do it. All right? All right. Do we have anybody that want to become a member? You a member? Well, if not this time, guess what? You got something to say?
I'm gonna check to see if anybody who's here is interested in the orientation to learn more about the Uhuru movement. Let me know. I'm thinking about either next Wednesday or Saturday. So let me know what day works better for you so that you can go ahead and get that set up as well. So you will orientate, you understand a little bit more about the organization.
Great, great. So with that being said, I'm going to turn this back over to my comrade right here. Oh, I thought you had something to say. Kumba, and I will come back and let you know how much we gained. All right. $79. We have 79. Do we have anything online? Come on. Come. 10. Okay, that's $89. So guess what? 90. So I owe $21. I'm gonna put 21 to make it an even 100. All right, correct? Uhuru. 11. Well, that'll work too.
Shortchange her, let her give it the rest of it like she said. No. Uhuru, I really appreciate that. And thanks for all the resources for those online in person for that. So, Fofeet.
Oh, yeah. Now. Where's the list? Okay, we can do the announcements from here. Announcements. Okay, we have Nina, the North Independent Neighborhood Association. This is something that was started this year because of all the pushback we've been getting from people that really don't work together, but now we can work together with Nina and get a voice for all of North County, okay, North City, I'm sorry, North City. The meeting is Tuesday, July 29th at 6 p.m. Right here? July?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, July 29th. I'm tripping. Okay. At 6 p.m. Right here at the Uhuru House, we'll have speakers, refreshments, and to become a member this year, it is absolutely free. You can go to tinyurl.com/Nina, Nina membership. Or you can just come here on that date, or come here anytime and become a member. So you can get your voice in and see what's happening. Oh, we got in the back, we've got applications, so you can come today. After this year, it will be a fee. But right now, we're building and we're building tough. That's the Nina. Nina will also be having their first block party. Is August 2nd from 11 to 5 p.m. It's going to be right out here at this block, right in front of the Uhuru House. Free food, music, games, free prizes, free information and services. Join the community block party planning committee every Tuesday at 6 p.m. at the Uhuru House next week, July 1st. We need every person to help and make this area promotion and outreach, program, children's circle, volunteers and staffing, logistics, whatever you want to do, whatever you can do, come to be a member. If you can give out a piece of paper, guess what? We want you to do that. All right?
And the next meeting is for the planning is on July 1st.
Yep, July 1st is the next planning meeting. And it's Tuesday. And it's right here. Next. Nina buttons. We have $3 Nina buttons or 2 for $5. They're in the back. They're kind of cute. They're oval. They look just like that. And kind of nice. Okay. Next. Come on, Nina. T-shirt. If you want a t-shirt, you can get a Nina t-shirt, your choice, for $25. Go to the table to fill out an order form. Uhuru Bakery and Cafe, home of the Uhuru foods and pies. I'm gonna tell you, it should be home of the absolutely amazing foods and pies, because it is amazing. Work continues on the display cabinet and reception desk for the Uhuru Bakery, now at Uhuru Solidarity Center, Wednesday and Thursday, 10 to noon, sorry. Skilled and unskilled volunteers needed. Contact Siali Muyenda at 510-992-9272. Let me tell you a little bit of something about the Uhuru Bakery. We fought, it's been about a year totally, that we were bringing real food into the neighborhood, because this is a food desert. You can't find anything over here if you try. Even if you have to go home to find something to eat, okay? Yeah, something decent. So Uhuru Bakery and Cafe is right on John and St. Louis and West Florissant, right at that corner. I remember there's been a lot of eateries in that spot, but did not last. But we lasted. And we fought, and we got it, okay? And now we're getting ready to open. So any hand that you can help to bring this to fruition is the word I'm trying to say. Because I'm telling you, I love the food. Come to volunteer. Okay, next. Booth registration. You want to talk about this, Conrad? I'm gonna let me finish and then we can go back. Go ahead to the next one. Sophia's coming up to talk about this later. Okay, the burning spirit. If you want to know anything about what we're doing or what's happening in the world, we got it. It's written by us, for us, by us, but we want to give it to you. It's $1 for the month subscription. He's holding it up in the back. The Burning Spirit paper has been in existence for over 60 years, 62 years. And guess what? It's still burning. We're going to make this happen. Get you a Burning Spirit subscription. You can get, go online to theburningspirit.com/subscribe or theburningspirit.store. If you know a store that needs to supply this information, do that. Ask them to go. That's for you. Oh, okay. That's the Burning Spirit.
Studies.
Sunday studies. Thursday, the International People Democratic Uhuru Movement has a study every Thursday. If you don't know anything about this movement, it's only because you don't want to know. This is the best way to find out what you need to know, that our history, our present, and our future right here on and it's online at 7 o'clock at tinyurl.com/RNDP studies. And it is put on by the president of the International People Democratic Uhuru Movement. So you're going to get it from the top and you're going to know it's right. Any questions, concerns, he will answer for you. All right, Professor Matsamela Odom. Caribou, let me. Okay. This announcement right here, you can get the pictures in the, the pictures in the back. It is the solidarity with the Northside. It's a benefit for the Black Power Blueprint. It is Wednesday, July 9th, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's at the Work and Leisure location at 3015 Locust Street, St. Louis, Missouri. The admission is $25 for your tickets. It's a benefit. That's why it's $25 to get in. But you will have music, poetry, dance, food and drinks, and a raffle. And on the back, you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You'll see 10 of the 13 people that will be performing. Myself and Comrade Makeda will be among the group. And I'm looking forward to it. Hope to see you there. It's a great benefit. We got lots of poetry though, and music, and singers. And you know we talented, okay? We know we talented. So with that, get you a flyer, get you a ticket, bring somebody with you so you won't be sitting alone. It won't be alone for long, but bring somebody with you so you can have great conversation too. Okay? And now I'm going to let Comrade Sophia, when you get over a certain age, things happen and you just have to roll with it. Okay? Comrade Sophia, come on up.
Okay, who we're at the
We're using the indoor camera.
So we have the One Africa, One Nation Farmers Market. We had our first successful one this past Saturday. And because of the storm that came through the north side, we're now holding it on our property here near the garden area. So we're no longer having it at the O'Fallon Park. It'll be here. And so the next one is going to be July 26, 2025. We are still looking for more vendors. We want to make it as big as possible. We're looking for people to volunteer. If we have anybody in the audience, we need people to work the registration booths. We need people to work the decolonize booth. And we have a couple of other booths that we can possibly open up if we have the people to volunteer for those. We also need support of our other organizations within the organization to participate as well. But we have, you can go to annualuhuru.org to find out more information, or you can reach out to me at SMOORE372@yahoo.com if you want to reach out to me directly, or you can leave a message at 313-454-7227 if you're interested in being a vendor, or if you are wanting to volunteer in any capacity. So if there's nothing else, then that will be it.
The caramel.
Okay, and so then we also have, so now with the market over, we'll talk about caramel. And actually, just to go back to the market real quick, we've had, for this past week, we had people that were doing jewelry, we had people that were doing food, your ginger shots, we had your Avon, and so those are the type of vendors we have. We have people that will be coming on to do vegan foods, different things like that. We'll also have, we had fresh produce that we gave away. So we had the collards and carrots and different things like that. It was a really nice market. Farmers, if you have produce that you want to sell or give away, your booth registration is free, but we do have a registration form that you have to complete just to agree to our terms and things to be on the property. And so now with that, we're gonna talk about caramel. Today we have one vegan and one meat pasta dish, and size and everything else to go with that. Thing we want to do for next week. One of the things I'm thinking for next week, if we can get volunteers to bring like fruit salads and cold things, because now we're in this colder weather. And then maybe, I'm sorry, hotter weather, we want cooler foods. So if we can get volunteers for fruit salads and tuna salad or a potato salad, pasta salads, different things like that to enjoy for next week, and possibly a dessert and drinks. Do we have any volunteers for any of that? Yes. Next week, Sunday, every week, we're here every week and we serve food. And we call it caribou. Caribou is just our gathering where we sit and eat and fellowship with one another.
It's feast.
Feast. You can just let me know afterwards.
Yeah, I want, it's two things. It's two things I want to say. First of all, it was late, but I asked for watermelon and fruit for this week. Well, like I said, it was late. So if you got a watermelon, bring it, but take it, cut it, chop it, bring it ready to serve. Same thing with honeydew melon, cantaloupe, bring them ready to serve. If you got grapes, bags of grapes, rinse the grapes and put them in containers so we can serve them right away. And we have some things from the garden that we want to make sure that you take home. Say it again.
Fresh vegetables and herbs from the Gary Brooks garden. People are welcome to please take home so that they will be prepared.
Fresh vegetables and herbs. Okay? Okay, comment.
All right, thank you very kindly, Fofeet and Comrade Sophia, for that. So this here concludes the Sunday rally, community rally. We hope it was informative. We hope we've engaged, and we hope to continue to build the relationship with the brother in the back and moving forward. So until next week, we'll be here at 4101 West Florissant. We're on the corner of West Florissant and Alice. I want to thank you for being online, tuning in, and thank everyone in the audience for attending. Uhuru, fist up!
I think